Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to give you an in-depth review on recent purchases. So it's really hot outside. I have my lemonade right in here. The AC is on, so if you hear a little rumbling in the background, please understand that without air conditioning, I would be a puddle on the floor. So thank you for bearing with me. I've got a little bin here of some recent purchases. And these are things that I've probably picked up in the last, I don't know, some of them are from like 2+ months ago. Some of them are just from the last handful of weeks. But I've had enough time to play with them, to make some really solid thoughts. And I thought I'd share those with you today. All right, I'm just gonna grab stuff out of here. The first thing I'm gonna tell you about is this. This is the Nouveau palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I can't tell you how glad I am to see a palette this size from ADH, because for a long time they were coming out with those larger pigment palettes, the Norvina palettes. Those just aren't my speed when it comes to makeup. I want something that's going to be, you know, less bright, less pigmented, a little bit more, I don't know, everyday. And maybe you're the person who wears brights every day. I love that, but I am not that bold. I am not. I have tried it and I always feel uncomfortable. And I feel the best thing is always to wear makeup that makes you feel attractive, that makes you feel pretty. And I never feel pretty in colors that are too bright on my eyes. Now, I can handle all the sparkle, but I want it to be kind of like this, like a soft sparkle. So that's where this comes in. This has really been doing it for me. I like the fact, since I'm a fair-skinned person, that this is the darkest shade we have in here. I have been using this shade right here in Liberty a lot. It's a really beautiful matte shade. I've been using Metro a lot. I've been, of course, using the beige a lot, but I feel like a lot of these shades in through here, the only ones that I haven't been using a ton of are this one here in Peacock and this one in Wisteria. Wisteria because I don't know, it's a little intimidating. I did wear it a couple of times, but it pushes me outside of my everyday comfort zone. It's beautiful as a light wash on the lid. It tends to be a little bit more adventuresome than I normally go. My favorite thing about this eyeshadow palette are the metallics. I love the metallics in here so much. I use these all the time. This one here, this kind of rose gold one, is my favorite. I have this one on today. I've been wearing it a lot. And I'm going to just show you, like, these are going to be weird and awkward swatches because I'm swatching with my left hand, facing away from me. But they're really pretty. They're super metallic. They are incredible. And one, like, swirl through the pan and swipe and you get like this, which is really great. I like that these are really kind of lighter shades. Now, if we're talking about the mattes in here, this is where I'm going to tell you this is a very familiar formula. This really reminds me of the mattes in the Modern Renaissance, in the Soft Glam, in the Sultry. They are a little bit, some people I think call them powdery, but let me tell you, like running your finger through them, you're getting plenty of pigment, but you might see, you see that little flake that falls off? They are a little, there's a lot going on here with this formula. And as you're swatching, you're getting really good pigmentation with them. But the one thing that's interesting is you take a brush to this and you can see it's happening here. You can see that it blends really nicely, but it almost like it goes from being really pigmented to like, wait, what happened? Where did it go? So the more you spend time blending, I've heard complaints that this formula is powdery and it blends away and there's nothing left. I actually really like that. And I've already mentioned I am a less bold eyeshadow wearer. I want lighter shades. I want a lighter look. That's my comfort zone. So this formula is great because I can pick up a color on a brush, a significant amount of it, you know, start putting it down and blend it and it not end up being too much. I like that. And if I want some more, I can go and tap on some more. Now this is a lighter shade. This is not this shade. It's the lighter one in the palette, but that more terracotta, almost apricot shade. But you can build it up. But then if you need it to be less, just give it a little blend. And away it goes, and it's not so deep and intense. but I know that this has been a point of frustration for people. I like that it's buildable. I like that it's soft. I like that it blends really easily, because there have been times that I overload my brush, I touch it down, I'm like, whoa! So I knock off all the excess and I start blending and I get the most beautiful subtle look. But that's the type of makeup wearer I am. So me and this matte formula here, we get along really well. But if you're wanting something that's a little bit more intense, a little bit more pigmented, you might be slightly frustrated with the mattes in here, but the metallics are absolutely glorious. And if I'm just going to be honest, these are the two shades that I don't use that often. This shade in Wisteria, which is kind of that matte lavender shade, and this one here in Peacock. And although they are absolutely stunning swatched, it's basically, you know, a really beautiful duochrome, but I don't know what to do with these two shades. And that's because it's not my comfort zone. They're stunning, super pretty. I love the duochrome we're getting from that Peacock shade, but it's outside of my comfort zone. I'm also going to tell you that I feel like when I'm looking at this palette, I look at it this way because I don't always know what to do with that Wisteria shade. And this makes a lot more sense to me. It's a lot earthier. And then the minute I uncover this, oops, I got a little smudgy on there, and you see that cooler toned lavender shade, it kind of throws me off mentally. So when I'm looking at this palette, this is how I see it, because this makes a lot more sense to me as a color story. Now, you might be exceedingly more creative than I am. You might know how to incorporate that Wisteria shade, but for me, having one shade out of here that I'm really not using, I have used this shade, but not a lot. I've used this shade once just to say that I've used it and it was pretty, but I didn't feel like $1,000,000. And every time I'm taking the time to put on makeup, I want it to make me feel more attractive, to make me feel like, you know, I could do anything. And that eyeshadow made me feel self-conscious. And it's the shade, not the formula. And it's because it's outside of my personal comfort zone. But I have really been loving this. And I feel like the metallics in here, I mean, look at the shine on these. They're gorgeous. You get full pigment with one swipe. They apply well with a brush like this that's flat. They apply well with like a fluffy brush like this if you want a lighter wash. I like using them, and I did today, just swiping it all over the eye and buffing it out with my finger. I don't mind having fewer options and larger pans, and I don't really miss the brush that they used to include. Although it was a nice brush, I never really used mine that often. This size palette with this number of shades and this type of a color story, absolutely right up my alley. Exactly what I, as a makeup wearer, have been craving. I've been trying a couple of things from Fenty, and I'll tell you, one product has been like, hooray, my fave. And another one has just been, all right. Let's talk about my favorite. It's their Cheeks Out Cream Blush. I have the shade Strawberry Drip. I love this. This is such a gorgeous product. I like that it is kind of like a soft pink with a little bit of a coral lean to it. This is one of those that works beautifully with a duo fiber brush. I'll pick some up and then I can just softly tap it exactly where I want and get a really pretty diffused, not too much look. If I want a little bit more, of course, I can tap it on with my fingers and take the time to blend it. And it definitely is just a little bit more pigmented. I tend to go this way because I frequently end up in clown territory where I over blush and I look like I have a lot of unnecessary product on. But I love this. This is super easy. It's one of my more foolproof cheek products because although it looks really bright in the pan and it can look pretty bright on a swatch, the minute I start blending it out, I mean, it blends out with no effort and it's not too much, and it brings just enough life and vitality to the face. The other thing that I like is that there is a subtle skin-like glow to this. Are you seeing that? So I can wear this on a day when I don't have any bronzer on, I don't have any highlight on, I need just a little boop, 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 and it's beautiful. I've also used this as a lip product. Formula-wise, I don't find this to be one of those where it leaves my cheek kind of dewy and tacky all day long. There are some other formulas that are that. This one isn't. It doesn't actually dry to like a powder formula. It still looks kind of glowy and beautiful and skin-like. It has that soft radiance to it. This is a product that I wear if I'm wearing all the makeup, or on the days that I have a little bit of concealer, I need a little color on the cheeks, I'll reach for this because it blends super easily and it doesn't ever look too heavy. I love this, and I definitely have been looking at other shades going, what other shade is going to work well for my skin tone? This is beautiful. So the other product that I've been trying that has just been all right for me. It's not one that'd be like, you need to get it, like run, do not walk. It's not that sort of a product for me. And I think that it can be really great for other people, but it's not my fave. And it's their Poutsicle. I'm wearing it today. Is it a good product? It's all right. It's $24. It's $24. I have the shade Strawberry Sangria. And I'm just going to put a little more. I was going to swatch. Well, maybe I will swatch it for you. Just know that it's going to stain my hand. We'll have a little red stain here later. It's actually really pretty. It wears well. It has a nice glossy shine on it. I've had this on for almost 2 hours now, and it still has a little bit of shine, but it doesn't look quite as juicy as this. It starts out real juicy for the first, I don't know, I'd say 45 plus minutes. And then it gets down to this point. Now, 47. I see that I don't have a really clear delineated line down here. The other problem that I have is that no amount of hydration can keep my lips from being a little bit dry. Right here, there's like a little line. I don't know if you can see it where there's more pigment, like right here at the edge of my lips. And where my skin is dry, this color really kind of sinks in there. And the rest of it doesn't look as dark. So you see this part that's darker here? I feel like I have a line like that, like right along the inside edge of my line where my lips can be a little bit dry with this formula. If I was wearing a hydrating lip product, if I was wearing something that was just a little bit more nourishing, I think that I wouldn't be having this problem. Because I don't have it if I'm wearing like a glossy hydrating lipstick, I don't have this problem. But every time I'm wearing a lip stain, and that's what this is, I have that problem. And as the color wears off everywhere else, I will have a very specific line right here and right here. So it does actually stain your lips. This wasn't on for very long, and I was able to wipe off the rest of it. So if you like a stain and your lips don't have that problem, where the dry skin kind of catches and more of the pigment lands there and it stains even darker, I think you might like this. For me, the reason I don't love this product is I've never really loved a lip stain. My lips need a little bit more hydration so the color will not just like sit really heavily in one area. And I feel like there are other affordable ways to get a lip stain where you don't have to pay $24. I feel like the Maybelline Superstay inks, these vinyl inks, this is the same sort of idea. It's a lip stain. It looks glossy going on. Another one that you could try is the one from L'Oreal, which is, I think to me, like a perfect dupe of the one from Lancome. I remember picking this one up several years ago. I really liked it. And then I found that they had a very similar formula at less than half the price at L'Oreal. I know that these vinyl inks are kind of new. I feel like that's basically what this is. If you like these types of formulas, you would really like this. The last thing I should tell you is this lasts about 3, maybe 4 hours on me before it starts to really show where it's wearing off. Like I'll have patches that are more pigmented and patches that are less pigmented. And I feel like the best thing to do for me, if I try and put another layer over it, I just end up with more of it kind of feathering out on my lip line. I get the best look with this when I use a lip liner. And when I want to reapply, I remove everything and go from there. That's how it works best for me, but I don't love this so much that I'm reaching for it all the time. I also picked up a couple of other lip products recently, ones that for me were just a little bit more successful formula-wise. Let me tell you about them. The one that I absolutely love, and I'm so glad I have, is this lip cushion from M Cosmetics. This is the shade Van Gogh, and it is a beautiful kind of almost, I don't know, it's terracotta-y, but it has a little bit of like mauve in there. It's absolutely stunning on the lips. I love this so much. This is that formula that is lightweight, that is like a lip gloss in a lipstick formula. It comes with a slimline packaging because it is so soft. And as you apply it onto your lips, it just makes your lips look juicy and hydrated and amazing. This is the third one of this formula that I have. The other formulas that I have that I really love, I have the lighter shade in Mona Lisa. I use this one all the time. Mona Lisa is just a hair more nude. And the other one that I have is the shade Mystic. This is kind of like a berry tone. But do you see how glossy and shiny these are? I feel like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips in all of their iterations. They have the plumping one, they have the regular one. I feel like those are very similar. I feel like this one here from Makeup by Mario, his lip serum, forget what it's called. Moisturizing Glow Plumping Lip Serum. I feel like these are similar. I know It Cosmetics has something that's like that, that's kind of in a slimline tube. It looks more like a longer, skinnier type lipstick. There's a lot of these out there on the market, and most of them are running, from the high-end brands that I've seen, are kind of running high teens, low 20s. And these I think are in the low 20s, but I really like them. And out of all the ones that I've purchased, I have, you know, the fact that I have 3 of these and I have a huge lip collection, I think that says a lot about how comfortable and easy these are to wear. And even though I'm getting older and I'm getting more of those fine lines around my lips where sometimes color can kind of go out of the line, I don't feel like these are calling attention to that. These just make my lips look fuller and plumper and healthy. I really, really like these, and I'm glad that I picked up Van Gogh. I picked up another product that's very much in line with this one from M, but it's, ooh, I think it's $13 more expensive, and it's from Hourglass. This is the Phantom Volumizing Glossy Balm. Okay, this is where I tell you that I have been enjoying reaching for it, but I don't think I would buy it again because this is $35. $35. All right, so it's very Hourglass, and it's, you know, gold packaging. It only advances, it doesn't retract. The one thing that I don't like about it is that product, because the cap is really long and it's a slimline packaging, I get a lot of product from here that gets all up around this area, and then as I put the cap on, it just shoves it farther down, and every time I open it, it looks kind of ooey and gooey. And I think for $35, I don't want something to look cheap and gross just because the packaging is a fail. So I'm forever wiping it down, but there's stuff inside the cap, and it's gonna happen when I cap it again. All right, so like the ones from M and the ones from Makeup by Mario and the ones from Tarte, this one only advances. But out of all of the ones that I've tried, this one here is the softest. You see how shiny it is here in the tube? The minute I swipe it on, it is so soft. It's almost as if it's like a liquid but slightly stable. This feels like a lipstick that's been left in the car too long and you're applying it and it's melting as you're putting it on. That's what this feels like. This is the shade Slip. I love this color. This color is gorgeous, but it's actually very similar to other ones that I have, but $35. And I don't know that it does enough volumizing. I don't know that it does enough. It doesn't make my lips look any better than some of the other things that I have. All it does is come in a kind of bougie metal tube and cost $35. So it's not bad. It's a great product, but you're not getting a lot for your $35. I took some time to look at the packaging, and it says we're getting 0.05 ounces. For $35. Here, you're getting the same amount for $23. Here, this, you're getting, what is it? 0.08, you're getting more, and this is $22. If you've ever tried the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, my daughter has one of those and loves it, you're getting 0.09 ounces, and you're paying $21. So if you're looking for kind of like a glossy lipstick hybrid, this is your most expensive, and you're getting the least. You're getting a better like amount for your dollar from the ones from Tarte and from the ones from Makeup by Mario. I think that these are all perfectly great products. I prefer this over this just because of price, but I feel like you might actually get more bang for your buck with other products, but it depends kind of on what you like. Do you like the shades they have? Do you like their formula? I feel like these two here are a little softer and a little bit more glossy, and these are just a little bit more lipstick with a gloss shine to them. I feel like these last on the lips a little bit longer, so for me, I can get more wear out of these. I'm reapplying these a little bit more frequently. But I think that if you're thinking about how does it stack up financially, that's important information to know. So I happened to pick up another shade of the So Soft blushes from M Cosmetics. This one's kind of a bright shade. This one here is in the shade Bitten, and it's kind of bright. This is a gorgeous color on the cheeks and on the lips. And I was worried, I didn't get it for such a long time because I was worried it was going to be too bold, too much. Because sometimes I feel like the shade that I already have in Venetian Rose is a little too much. But do you see how beautifully it blends out? Hardly any effort. I also like taking a brush like this, you know, picking up a little bit of it and then, you know, stamping it on. I do that. So I'll just like boop, 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 and then start to do this. I feel like this is a really easy, forgiving formula. I really like it. So I now have two of these. I have Venetian Rose. This is the shade Bitten. I really like it. I have one of their So Soft multi-face place sculpting sticks, which I love and use all the time. It's probably my favorite cream bronzer. I just feel like this formula is amazing. It lasts really well, and it has that soft, believable look that cream products have on your skin. It gives you that skin-like finish without being powdery or looking dry. But this has longevity to it, and they've got some really beautiful colors. I don't frequently buy multiples of a formula in different shades, but I'm glad I picked this up. Another cream product that I have been using a ton is this. This is the new cream bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. I have the lightest shade Fair. Do you see how like in the center, it used to say CT in here, and it used to have more of like a, like you see how this line is kind of ridged, and by the time it gets towards the middle here, it's gone. I've been in this a lot. I like that you're getting an enormous pan. I really like that. I feel like this is a really pretty color, but I don't really need a lot of it. Here's a swatch of it right here. It does tend to lean a little yellow. Not as much as her Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. That leaned so yellow that I feel like if I wear a blush that even hints at being cool, I look like something's wrong on my face. I need to be wearing warm blush, warm eyes, warm lips, warm everything for that powder bronzer in Fair to work for me. Here, I feel like it's just an overall good bronzer. Some people will notice with their skin tones that this might be, you know, too yellow, too warm. I feel like it's actually really good for me. It works really well, but this is another one of those that I'll just take a large synthetic brush, dab it in here, bounce it off in the back of my hand, and then start, you know, applying it this way. I have applied it with a damp sponge. I have applied it with my fingers, but synthetic kind of compact blending brush is my favorite way to apply it. I have been reaching for this so much. I really love it. I just wanted to show you some swatches. This top one here is the new cream bronzer in Fair from Charlotte Tilbury. This one right here is Fair in her Airbrush Flawless Finish. This one right here is the Film Star Bronze and Glow in the original light shade. This shade right here is actually from her Glowgasm palette, and it's in the light gasm, so that's what this one is right here. This one right here is from one of her Instant Look in a palettes. This one is the Beauty Glow, and I feel like this one is very similar to the Film Star Bronze and Glow. And the last one I have here is from another Instant Look in a palette. This is the Gorgeous Glowing Beauty. I don't know which one of these Instant Looks in a palette are still available, but these are all of the swatches. Most of these can work on me. This is one of my favorites here. This is one of my favorites here, but I feel like these two are very close in tone. This pulls a little warm on me, but this one I really like a lot. I feel like this one here, it's really light and it's really yellow. And I don't know that I would repurchase shade 1 Fair if I needed to get a new one of these. Although I love how big the pan is, I just feel like it's too yellow. It's not my favorite. And I know that Wayne Goss did a video talking about how yellow this is. It's not as bad as this one, but this one works really well on me and I've been using it quite a lot. One thing I've really been loving is tubing mascaras. I love the one from I love the one from Hamish. I've been using the new one from Lancome, their Le Huit Hypnose, and it's not really marketed as a tubing mascara, but that's exactly what it is. And I wanted to try one from the drugstore, so I picked up this. This is the Maybelline Sky High, and I know there's a pink tube, but this is the one that's actually a tubing formula. And I have this, sadly, I think in my, was it June fails or my May fails? I've been using this for a while. Okay, here's my problem with this. This goes on and it stays on. And like a tubing formula, doesn't flake, doesn't crumble, doesn't smudge. So I don't have any of that really weird like panda eyes going on. I don't have any crumblage or flakage going on. I struggle at the end of the day to get this off. I use a balm cleanser. I use the one from Clinique, the Take Off the Day Cleansing Balm, and that gets rid of everything. It'll take off all of my Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. It'll take off the Fenty Full Frontal. It'll take off, like I have got a jar here. Every single mascara in here, everything comes off lickety split, no problem, except this. And I don't know what's in here. Like whatever makes it really adhere to my lashes really keeps it from coming off. So after I use the balm cleanser to wipe all of my makeup off and I splash it off with water and I look at my eyes, I have like smears of black everywhere. And it gets to the point, okay, great, let me go another round. I can get a little bit more off, but I have to wash my face so many times and I have to end up taking like an actual Q-tip and running like right along the edge of my lash line, inside, like everywhere to get it all off. It's so much effort. It's not worth it. It takes a lot of effort to get a big voluminous mascara like Monsieur Big off, but I can do it with the balm cleanser on the first go. I can't with this. This does not come off very easily for me, and I feel like with all of that extra rubbing, I'm, you know, maybe stretching my skin unnecessarily. Maybe I'm irritating my eyelashes. I feel like I might be losing a few more lashes. This is really hard for me to get off. And maybe I should be removing it with something else other than, but that Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm takes every other mascara I own off, no problem. I don't know. So it's not that it doesn't work well, it does. I just struggle to get it off. That's why this has not been good for me. The last product I have been trying and actually really enjoying is the Brow Flick from Glossier. This is not a new product, it's been around for a while, and it took me a while to try it. First of all, Glossier is one of those products you can't just walk into your local store, swatch and find your color, or test the formula, see if you like it. There is no swatch, and you purchase. And you cross your fingers that when it gets there, you love it. That's really how I think of Glossier. I feel like if they were available for sale in more places, and I could actually test it and try it and, you know, make some swatches on the back of my hand, go, yep, that's the color that I need. I feel like I would have more of their overall makeup products. I feel like I might actually try their skincare because I felt like, what does it feel like in store? That's the one thing I don't love about Glossier. But I feel like when they get a makeup product right, they really get it right. I feel like this is a great example of that. This is the only thing I have in my brows today for color. I do have a layer of clear brow mascara on. This is Control Freak from NYX, but all of my filling in all of my gaps, that's from this. This is a really great pen. There are 3 shades. I think there's blonde, there's brown, and soft black. I use brown, and I like that it's a cool brown, but if you're a redhead or you have auburn hair, I don't know what shade you would use. I don't know. I don't know. And I feel like that is usually a problem where, you know, if you don't get the tone just right, that's the problem I've had. I remember when the Urban Decay Brow Blade came out, I loved the idea. You had a pencil on one end and a fine tipped brow pen on the other. But I tried several different browns. I think I tried 3 of them, and some of them leaned a little too red. Some of them leaned a little too gray. One of them looked actually purple. I don't know. It looked kind of like that kind of eggplanty red shade that people will dye their hair sometimes. And it looked crazy in my eyebrows. I could not get a shade to work. The pencil part worked fine. The brow pen color on all of them, I felt like the ink was weird. Either it didn't like me or I just could not find my shade. Remember having the same problem with the powder on one end and the marker on the other from MAC. I feel like the ones from Milani, the, what is it, the Weekender brow pen, and then there's one from NYX. I forget what their brow pen is called. Those are perfectly fine, but they tend to look a little bit shiny. So as I'm drawing hairs on, it looks like I have like little shiny spots in my eyebrows. It almost looks a little patent leathery. And I don't want to call attention to my brows that way. I want it to look soft. I want it to look natural. I feel like this does a really good job, and I don't feel like I have any shiny spots on my eyebrows when I'm using this pen. It is really easy to fill in the gaps. It's one of those products that if you get too much in one area, just take a spoolie and you can spoolie through. Another thing I do is if I touch it down and there's too much ink on the tip of it and I lay it down in one spot and there's like a little blob of ink, I'll take a Q-tip and hit right there just to suck up the rest of the ink, and then I go through and spoolie. It does seem a little high maintenance, but I get beautiful all day wear from this, and I really like it. I was trying to decide whether I preferred the Brow Flick or the Anastasia brow pen, and I might still say I like the brow pen better, because if I need one, let's say I run out, I can go down to my Ulta and I can have it today. I think that might be what's making this kind of lean more towards the ABH brow pen, because I feel like this shade works beautiful for me. You also have more options for shades. I don't know how many options there are, but there's at least 6 to 8 different shades of the brow pen from ABH. There's only 3 here. I feel like this brown is pretty universal. It's not too deep, it's not too toasty, but it leans a little on the cool-ish side. I feel a lot of people could make that work, but I feel like this brand is beating you out with more options, and it's the same sort of delivery system. Little fine tipped brow pen, it spoolies beautifully. This shade's a little bit darker here, but it has been sitting, I'm not gonna lie, it's been sitting like point down. Usually I leave these both point up so that when I pull them out, I don't have like the tip just full of liquid. But that, you can definitely see that's what's happening with this one. But I've been using the Brow Flick a lot this month. I really like it, and I think that it'd be one of those sorts of products that if the next time I were to run out of it, when I make my next Glossier order, I could see myself throwing this in. I wouldn't order just for this. Maybe we'll fall in love with it more and I will get to the point where it will be my go-to brow product, but I really like the way brow pens make my gaps in my brows kind of disappear subtly, and I like these 2 formulas the best out of the drugstore ones that I've tried, out of the other high-end ones that I've tried. These are beautiful. This is a great product. The last thing I've been trying recently is the new eyeshadow palette from Wayne Goss. This is Smoky Quartz. This is such a pretty eyeshadow palette. I do wear this a lot. I am wearing a layer of the Celestial shade right over the top of the one from the ABH palette. So I'm wearing this kind of like lightly tapped over the other one. I didn't need any more sparkle, but I was like, look, more sparkle. I really love this, and you can tell my finger has been in here nonstop. So this here is a really heavily metallic kind of sparkly shade that's so gorgeous. Another shade that has a little subtle radiance to it, it's a soft satin, is this one right here. It's shade number 3. And then these 4 shades right here, they're just mattes. I feel like this sort of formula is not quite exactly like the one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but it is one of those that's a little softer. It's buildable. Some people might find it to be powdery, but I actually really like it. And I love these kind of softer, cooler tones. They do lean just a hair, you know, cool with the kind of almost mauve tone here, not quite. You do have kind of like this plum tone, but I really love this combo of 6 shades together. I like Wayne's formula. I feel like Wayne's formula and me get along, especially how the metallics don't accentuate any of the extra crepiness I have going on my eyelid. I'm getting close to 48, and I definitely am noticing that my eyelids are changing more and more. And not everything that used to look good continues to look good. I love that Wayne's formula is kind of designed to work on everybody, regardless of skin texture, regardless of age. This will look just as lovely on my 14-year-old daughter as it does on me, but I really have been loving these shades, and this has kind of been a workhorse for me on my work days. Like, I can go in there and use just this shade in the crease and be out the door, or I can use just this as an all over shadow look, Or I can do the same with this one here. There have been days that I go in and I rub my finger in it and I just kind of smudge it over my eyelid and throw on a little mascara and I'm out the door. And then when I use all 6 of them, I can get the most beautiful, gorgeous, kind of 1990s, like supermodel inspired eye look. Really love it. Thank you so much for watching today. I always like to take the time to get back to you with kind of like a here's what I've learned since trying this product more. There's so many times that I love something with the first impressions, or oh, I can't get it to work for me, what's wrong with this problem? And I really just need to take the time to get to know it better. The more I try it, the more, and that's when I realize, what am I actually reaching for habitually, or which products did I think I was gonna love and I was excited to buy and excited to try, and then they just sit here. And I feel like when that happens, that says a lot about my kind of unconscious decisions on the products that I'm trying. Most of these have been a huge hit for me. This was obviously not good. This to me is one of those products that, yeah, it's fine, but you don't need to pay $35 for this. There are other more affordable options where you get more and it's kind of basically the same sort of thing. But I feel like most of everything I've tried has been really good. I feel like I've been doing better this year at buying products that not only am I genuinely interested in, but are well suited to the types of makeup I like to wear. Let me know if you've been trying anything recently that has been amazing or an epic fail. I even love to hear about those, like, don't try this, this is the worst. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.